CM Punk is in doubt for AEW All Out. Plus, Warner Brothers Discovery's budget cuts are not good news for Dynamite and Rampage. We'll tell you why in a minute. And a WCW star is making a comeback next month at an indie event. It's all in the wrestling news right now. CM Punk was optimistic for a return relatively soon. Not feeling as optimistic now.
No, definitely not. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio saying, I know Punk was hurting pretty bad as of 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he's going to be ready for the pay-per-view, so it will probably end up being the November show, which is Full Gear. And this has got to be so heartbreaking for Punk, who is the AEW champion and was hoping to have a Summer of Punk run. And how nice would it have been for him to come out with that AEW championship in Chicago as well.
Yeah, that would have been a lovely moment. I mean, that's not to say that we won't see him.
Yeah, definitely.
But we certainly won't see him compete. I think it would be remiss if we... AEW would be remiss if Punk is in a position where he can just pop out and say hello.
Yeah.
To not have him do that.
I mean, I really hope that is the case because that will be a lovely moment to witness on TV for sure. Like, the pop will be ridiculous. Everybody will be happy. Maybe apart from MJF.
Is MJF there?
No, I'm having you on. I just thought that would be quite a naughty moment for him to come out.
So I mean, if Punk doesn't main event, then I think I'll go back to it. I think there's an opportunity here. We said this yesterday for the trios tournament final to go on last.
Yeah, definitely. I think as we spoke about yesterday, the storyline stuff is very much there. Perhaps even then we see, if that is in the main event, perhaps that's when we see Kenny Omega make an appearance as well.
That'd be all right.
That would be very nice. Yeah, that would be really, really cool. But, we will see what happens. Hopefully Punk is doing all right, though.
Yeah, we send our bestest wishes and we'll see him back in the ring maybe by the end of the year to sort all that interim title business out. There's been some business going behind the scenes with AEW. In particular, the company overseeing their television, Warner Brothers Discovery. So it's been a tough week for Warner Brothers Discovery. There have been a lot of unpopular moving and shaking. We saw Batgirl get canned.
Which is a travesty because we needed to see Brendan Fraser playing Firefly. That's all I'm going to say.
I was furious for him and everybody else involved in that film. It's pretty much done, but they've gone, now we're changing direction with HBO Max, and now we're not seeing it. We are getting to a wrestling topic, so do bear with. This is also as a week as plans have been revealed to merge HBO Max with Discovery Plus. This will consequently bring out major layoffs for the company. Now, this could very well have residual effects with Dynamite and Rampage. Dave Meltzer goes into this on Wrestling Observer Radio saying, if you're an AEW fan, the last 2 days are not good news at all. We knew that they were going to do a slashing of the budgets, but it really feels like TNT's prestige programming is going to be out of the window. They are really trying to cut a lot of money, and they know that the one thing they feel that they have to keep, which is going to cost them a lot of money, is the NBA. It's probably the worst possible time to go in there and ask for a big raise. Now, Dave Meltzer says at no point does he see AEW being cancelled before you think that's where this is going, because he doesn't think that Dynamite and Rampage are being taken off TV. He says most weeks it is the most popular show on TNT and TBS. However, I believe it's next year. We're getting to a point where they're looking to renew those television deals. And with AEW expanding the way that it is, they're going to want more money. And they should always barter for more money. They should always bid for more money.
Definitely.
In these situations. And it might get to a point where next year, once the merger has started to settle down, they may not want to invest in the wrestling.
Yeah, and I mean that's such a big thing as well, especially when AEW is one of the most popular shows on their, if not the popular show on their programming network as well. So,
and how many times have we seen this as well, where you've had a wrestling property on a channel, and despite the fact that it does well, there is this distinct dislike of the wrestling. Like when Nitro was at its highest, biased on WCW on TNT then. There was a firm dislike among some people for the wrestling that Ted Turner loved, and the first chance that they got when Ted Turner lost his power was they binned it off.
Which is really...
Admittedly, it was sinking at that point, which is more than justified.
But even a little bit different in this case.
It's a little bit different.
A little bit.
But even at the height of its power, there were people that weren't happy with Nitro being on the air.
Yeah, and I like, what do you think that comes down to personally?
A real disregard among the mainstream media for wrestling.
Yeah.
Completely. It's whether, I know that it's more of a mainstream product than it's ever been, but you know what? We both have lives outside of Cultaholic, believe it or not. And it is always a strange one. Like, even I find it sometimes to talk about wrestling with people who aren't wrestling fans.
Yeah.
It is a bit weird. And you kind of feel like you're defending it in a strange way.
And it's so strange as well, right? When wrestling has had such a huge crossover in terms of popular culture as well, and wrestlers venturing out into Hollywood, we get celebrities coming over. Remember, like Cyndi Lauper and everything for WrestleMania 1 as well. Like the popular culture and wrestling are very much sort of intrinsically connected, but at the same time, it feels as though, like you said, some people are just very against it, which is weird.
I'm going to a gathering on Sunday, and it'll be predominantly people who aren't wrestling fans. So I'm very excited to have at least 5 conversations where I'm told that it's fake.
Is that Hulk Hogan still wrestling?
Yeah, that's it. Bushwhackers, how they doing? So I think that's a big reason as to why. I think that's also, with everything going on with Warner Brothers Discovery and the mergers that are going on here, that's probably why all this conversation about AEW having a streaming service has fallen very quiet.
Yes.
Whether or not that means that there's no plans to do anything, I imagine that they'll have some kind of AEW thing on the Warner Brothers HBO Max merged streaming platform, which they're planning. But I don't think it would be as intrinsic and as deep as the WWE network. I think it would just be here's this week's Dynamite.
Yeah, I feel like that. I feel like you might have nailed it on the head there, young man.
A contract has been nailed to the head of, that didn't work. No, not of him. Of Blake Christian, ironically. So sources this past weekend, according to Fightful, say that Blake Christian, the StarCast show, indicated that he's under an agreement with All Elite Wrestling.
Oh my goodness.
Tied to Ring of Honor.
Yee.
We saw him tagging with Tony Deppen and Alex Zane at Death Before Dishonor, and he's also worked a few dates for AEW. He hasn't worked, however, he worked 3 matches at the July Dark tapings, which led many to believe that he'd been signed by the company, which indeed he has. And we don't know if it's full-time, we don't know if it's sort of a per appearance, what's the word, sort of a deal that just sort of keeps you there, but you get paid per appearance, but you're sort of tied to them.
What is it, a pay-by-appearance deal or
kind
something?
Of something like there's a word for it.
Yeah, there is.
But it's fallen out of my head.
Gone.
I've obviously learned something new today that's pushed it out. But I'm glad that Blake Christian's there. I think he's a good choice.
A man who just absolutely turned his career around, right? He was in NXT for not that long. And then as soon as he came out, he was like, I want to make every single indie booking I can possibly make. And then everybody was talking about him. All his appearances at GCW, all the stuff he was doing on the indies, his matches got everybody talking. You'd see people clip them and put them on Twitter. Like, he's very much been a talking point for quite a long time. So, for AEW / Ring of Honor to obtain him, I think this is nothing but a good thing.
Which former WCW star are people going to be talking about next month, Andrew?
The self-proclaimed greatest in the world. I'm the greatest. Da, 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 da.
That's right, Miss Cilla Black.
Don't be silly, Tom. It's Ernest the Cat Miller.
Oh, fine then. Have a look at what you could have won. Ernest the Cat Miller, yes, and this was announced by GCW.
Huge.
So 4 Cup Stuffed is their show at the Grand Sports Arenas in Chicago. And that's how you pronounce it, isn't it?
Chicago.
my mate Kim Punk told me that's how you do it. Now, and they've announced that Ernest the Cat Miller is going to be a part of the show 4 Cup Stuff in Chicago. I'm up for seeing what he does. No match announced. The only thing we know is there's a lovely graphic that says Ernest the Cat Miller will be there. He was part of WCW from 1997 till its demise in 2001. Curse you, Time Warner. And he had that brief run in WWE. We were talking with Owen as he was setting us up about his little bit of the Rumble.
Man,
yeah, 04.
I'm telling you, this guy, His themes absolutely slapped. They are some of the best. If you've not listened properly to his themes before, they are full on. They are just funkalicious belters.
Well, obviously, you know, it was the I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
No, the problem is I can't sing I'm the greatest without doing the Blind Date theme.
It's so hard.
But then, of course, in WWE, you had Somebody Better Call My Mama, Better Call My Mama, that went to Brodus Clay and the Funkadactyls.
What an absolute get for that, man.
Yeah, what a get for GC Dub.
And it's great as well. I feel like over the last few years, we've seen a lot of legends rock up on
very unusual legends as well.
Yeah, and do you know what? I think they use them in a really good way too. They usually give them a really good platform to just do daft stuff on. But it kind of works. It works with the talent that's involved, and it's a nice little showcase, I think, for some of the people that may have been forgotten about in the past.
Put on your red shoes and dance and bruise. Ernest the Cat Miller coming to GCW next month. We'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Keys.
Love you, bye.